Another question that's come up recently has been, what about going back to the office now for those who have to do that? And that's the kind of job they're in, going back to their work site, dealing with the commute. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with the commute going back. I'd rather get a different job. I don't need to. I'm totally effective without being there. And you know what? They're right and they're wrong. And that's the thing that makes this difficult. Is we're looking for a simple answer. Is going back necessary or unnecessary? Well, obviously it really depends on so many things. Depends upon how work gets done at that company. I think that what has to happen here is a conversation has to be had. Unfortunately, what's happening is organizations are making a choice much more unilaterally, one way or the other, some way in between, and rolling their choice on, hoping they got the best one that's going to make the most people happy, including the people in power in the organization, as opposed to having that dialogue and being open to there being a lot of different solutions, and also open to exploring and trying things. We're so committed, especially in the human resources world, to say, here's the new policy. How about, here's the new question. Here's some initial guidelines. Let's see what happens. And we might discover that there's a real broad variety of how people do or do not go back to the office, and when they do that, and what that looks like, and what the benefits are. There's organizations out there like a great little company called Sway, and they look at how do you build a hybrid work environment that works. And they start by talking to people in the organization and finding out what's necessary and what's needed. They also find out that it's very different things needed by different people, and that can be okay. We just need to be open to having the conversation. So as I've said in other videos, in human resources, one of the things we need to do is be able to frame the conversation and make sure good conversations happen. So if the question you're facing is, should people be coming back to the office or not? That's the conversation you need to be framing and holding in your organization, and starting to experiment with some answers and see what works out. And you can't ignore the possibility that at some point we may say, actually, some back in the office has some real value for these people, and they're most productive for what we do, and this person doesn't want to come back, needs to do what they do somewhere else, even though they were great before. Now things have changed. You know, COVID and working at home has shifted our expectations of what we need and want. We're different people through that, and we have different organizations through all of that. We have to realize we're not going back to anything, we're creating something new. Let's have the conversation to figure out how to best create that new thing.